Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fabulous and fun Ask an Engineer. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters. You can see we're in the shipping zone with lots of cardboard boxes. I'm Lady Ada, I'm the engineer. With me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control, also typing things in the chat. We've got an exciting show tonight.
As I said today on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, I am assistant to the maker stars.
Yes. Go get me a coffee.
Yeah.
We'll talk about coffee later on in the show.
I got you an iced tea earlier today, actually.
That's true. Nice, nice. And my dry cleaning. And solder up some photo board.
Okay.
Anyways, we've got an exciting show tonight. All sorts of cool stuff, new products, new stuff, videos galore, and plenty of news.
Okay, I'm going to...
Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On today's show, the code is made with code. We'll tell you why. We're going to talk about the show and tell. We had an epic show and tell, one of my favorite ones so far this year. It was fantastic. Lots of cool projects. A packet mailbag. The Adafruit Keg-O-Matic has an update. Talk about that. Some interesting news in the world of open source hardware and more. Adafruit Learning System, all the cool guides.
Many updates.
And more. Time travel. We look back in the maker history, hacker history, art history, you name it history. We cover it on Tuesdays. Wearable electronics, lots of cool projects and more. 3D printing, we've got two amazing cool videos to show you. A big announcement in the Raspberry Pi world, big contest. We'll have new products. We'll answer your questions. We have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're here.
Okay, so first, the code is made with code.
Made with code.
And we'll talk about that and why in just a bit, but it is part of the effort that you were part of to help get more young girls into coding, and the effort is called Made with Code. Go look at madewithcode.com.
Yep.
You'll see a video with Lady Ada. We're going to play that later tonight. And that's the code. That's it. And the idea is everything cool and amazing and interesting in the world right now is made with code. So let's get let's get everybody coding.
Yes.
All right. As always, we're still accepting Bitcoins, and I still like
Bitcoins are made with code.
Yeah, Bitcoins.
I mean, like
yeah, your money's made with code.
made with code.
So we take,
mined with code.
Yeah, we take Bitcoin, and Bitcoin still getting accepted lots of places. Doesn't seem like it's going away. You could spend it and get real electronics on Adafruit. We have our free deal, which is $99 more. You get a PCB ruler. At $200 or more, you get free UPS ground continental US.
It is the return of the PCB ruler.
Yeah, it's back.
It's back.
Okay. And that's the bill paying section. Let's start with the show talking section.
Let's do this thing.
All right. Show and tell is every single week on plus.google.com/Adafruit, and we have people around the world. It's kind of like a maker fair every week.
Yeah.
That shows and shares our projects. And we
Cyber show and tell.
Yeah, we had some great ones.
Maker fair.
And why don't you tell everybody about it?
Okay, you do stuff while I tell people about the many people show up. How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9 people show up, so that's like a full house again. Tony came back. He's our weekly correspondent from the Northwest. This week, he's working on adapting the monochrome OLEDs. Mostly, I call them SSD 1306, that's a driver chip. And we have code for Arduino, But he actually went and modified and ported the code over to BeagleBone Black and Raspberry Pi over I2C and SPI. So if you're a fan of single board Linux computers, check them out. If you're using not BeagleBone Black, Raspberry Pi, but something else, like maybe a Yun or whatever, or 820 all-winter boards or whatever, code will probably work for them too. So check it out. Tony's been going through all of our most popular displays, sensors, LEDs, etc., and cleaning out any issues in GitHub, as well as porting the code to Linux, and also just triple checking the Arduino libraries for any updates. So he's been a rock. So good work, Tony. Noah and Pedro, who are correspondents from Adafruit South, came in. They run 3D Thursday, so if you guys are into 3D printing, check out Adafruit tomorrow. It's going to be like all 3D printing all the time.
Yeah, we're going to show one of their videos tonight, which is amazing. We're going to show the
video, last Thursday's video tonight, but they showed a preview of the next 2 weeks, including the 3D printed LED knuckles, and also a chain version, as well as the Pi Girl Raspberry Pi edition. Sorry, the Game Girl Raspberry Pi edition. That will be coming out soon, which is my favorite. Very playable, very fun, rechargeable battery Game Girl. Grant Char came in with a new component that I haven't actually seen before. It's a photodiode that looks sort of like a photocell, but it's actually a photodiode. And he made a ring of them for his robot so that the robot can sense light and moves towards the light. And he also had a Pi robot, a very powerful Pi robot with really big treads and stuff. And he says it's got GPS going on it, so it can move from waypoint to waypoint. So don't put a knife on it and put in Adafruit location, because I do not want that robot to come after me. It's scary. Food Frenzy is that's his name. Food Frenzy came in, and he's really into playing arcade games, because he had a Pi arcade.
He made a Pi-cade, and he had a handheld Game Boy that he added a backlight to.
Game DS. A Nintendo DS that he added the backlight to, and he made a cupcade.
I don't know if it was
it was a game.
It was the Game Boy Advance, I think.
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then he had
Nintendo
an arcade that was powered by a Raspberry Pi.
Yep, and he was playing a Pokemon on it, and he's got like a really sweet thing going on there. He's got like all these cool games, little mini arcade, big arcade. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun time over at Food Frenzy's house.
Yeah.
And next up, he's going to work on let's see, what was he?
The auto boot up.
Auto boot up stuff. Okay, cool. He's running Raspbian. I like it when kids who are like in grade school have favorite Linux distros. Noah came in with he saw the little micro e-reader that I guess we blogged about it last week, and it was like a 3-line e-reader, and he's like, well, I want to make like a bigger e-reader. So he made a mini 2.2-inch TFT e-reader using a micro, and displaying it just you downloaded from like Gutenberg the Alice in Wonderland text, and you can read Alice in Wonderland on a little e-reader. Very cute. Tavis came in with a rotary cell phone that he made. He used a SIM900 module and wired up to like a PIC chip and created his own rotary cell phone. And it's actually a smart cell phone. You can SMS the phone and add names and phone numbers. So you don't have to actually, you can use like the rotary, like the A, B, C, D, E, F numbers, and you can dial people's names, and it will call them, so you don't have to. You basically have a phone book for your rotary phone, which is just like, I wish they had thought of this in the 80s. It would have been so much more convenient than the little books that everyone has with phone numbers in them.
Yeah.
Really, they should have done this instead. Let's see, and then he also had a Marble Madness arcade game, which is like really sweet.
That was in the background.
Yeah, that was nice. It was like old school. Andy also had a rotary phone project. Weird. But he did. It was an alarm clock, and you lift up the receiver and dial the time you want to wake up. And then it displays the time, so it's like you don't accidentally wake up at 4 in the morning. And then it will wake you up with the ringer, which is loud as hell. And then he's like attaching like a fire alarm bell to it, or like looks like a high school period bell, like it's gigantic.
He got it at a flea market.
Yeah, at a flea market.
He's getting all this stuff, and like you pointed out, there's all these rotary phones, millions of them.
There's just millions.
What can we do with them? We did a project with a payphone. At Make, we did a project with a VCR, and that was an automatic cat feeder. And now people are doing cool stuff with rotary phones because they're just available. They're actually quite beautiful, and the mechanics, like they were meant for people to use them all the time.
Maybe we'll pick up a rotary. I don't even know where we would get one.
Probably at any type of garage sale.
Like the Canal Street electronics shop.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of interesting that the average age of the folks out there that are on the show and tell, it's going down. Like there's lots of more young people showing their projects, and most of them have never actually even seen a rotary phone in real life. So it's kind of interesting and kind of neat that there's this technology that used to be ubiquitous, and now it's kind of rare, and it seems like it disappeared overnight. I know it was a long process, but boy, to see it in real life doing things like getting text messages is kind of cool.
Yeah. Anyways, cool. Rotary phones. Yeah, there's a lot of rotary phone projects. And then Will came in and he's taking a class in his school on leatherworking, and so he made a Neo Geo watch project, which was Becky and Tyler's project a couple months ago with the Flora and a GPS module and a NeoPixel ring, and he made a leather fob for it, so it acts like a pocket watch. So it's a little pocket watch Neo Geo. It looks really cool.
Okay.
And he made a box.
All participants on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. They just have to email support@adafruit.com. We send one out. Tavis, who is on, did such a cool project. We have our phone platform coming out, Phona. I'm just going to send him one. So you can get other things in addition to an as seen on show and tell sticker.
Yeah, we often give badges.
Sometimes badges.
Freebies.
Sometimes previews. Sometimes they get jobs. We've hired people that we've met on the show and tell.
True.
So,
we've hired like 4 people from the show and tell.
Lady Ada, how did they get on the show and tell?
If you want to join the hottest party that is every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time here in New York City, this is just like a bumping spot. You can also join next week or the week after by going to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/plus_Adafruit and look for the post where we say comment here to get added to our show and tell circle, and then you will join the VIP list. And you will get invited.
Well, it's the show and tell circle. We have,
which is VIP. Very important.
We had a VIP thing, but then we kept adding everybody, and so there was a limit of like 5,000.
Yeah.
And
so this is the new VIP.
Yeah, this is the show and tell circle.
This is the new VIP list, which is the show and tell circle. Okay. You'll get added, and then you'll get invited every single week. Show off any week you want. Show as many projects as you want. Take like 2 or 3 minutes, and you can get stickers and freebies. And like, be impressive.
Next, mailbag. These are letters that people send us in the emails. Sometimes we get videos, sometimes we get tweets, sometimes we get emails. This was a very nice email. This is from Tim. Just wanted to share a small part of the Father's Day card my daughter made for me. His daughter says, "My dad's the best because he will play robots with me at any time of the day and any day of the week. Thank you for showing me how great engineering really is." Wow. Tim goes on to say,
that's a nice Father's Day card.
Yeah, Tim goes on to say, playing robots, e-jewelry, etc. with my daughter has made it easier and more enjoyable because of the great products you make and sell. Your great service, excellent tutorials, and your role modeling for young girls. Thanks for all you do supporting the open source community. Tim, good work,
you. That sounds like heavy feels.
Yeah.
I'm like tearing up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This is like pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's a really wonderful thing to see parents and kids, grandparents and nephews and aunts and everybody like doing projects together and being creative and fun. And what's really neat is that, people like base stuff off of, Becky's wearable tutorial, for example, but they never stop right there. They always continue and customize it, which I just think is great. Because don't get me wrong, like I like the Lego, but one of the things that annoys me about Lego now is like you just build like the aircraft carrier and then you're done. Like there's you can play with it, but there's no modifications.
They have themes, and then when you build it, it's done, and maybe it sits on the shelf. Electronics and building these projects, you add more skills and you just keep going.
Yeah, actually, what I liked is like Noah, who came into the show and tell, like he has the screen. He's built like 4 projects with the same setup. He's like, okay, I'm making a video game. Now I'm making an e-reader. He's gonna make a computer next. I mean, like it's so fun and creative, and the same parts are used in so many things that you can play like every weekend for like months.
Okay, next up we have an update to the Adafruit Keg-O-Matic. The Adafruit Keg-O-Matic is actually 2 different kegs that we have here at the Adafruit factory. Yeah. One had root beer, and one has beer, like beer, like a lager or an ale or something.
What do we have in the beer one?
Well, we had Sapporo.
We had Sapporo, okay.
Yeah, and then we got this really great root beer. And as a summer hit, everyone in the Adafruit factory, they like to have iced coffee. New York is kind of iced coffee city. So at our last State of the Fruit meeting, we do a meeting with everybody every single week called State of the Fruit.
All hands.
All hands. And we talked about, well, maybe we can get iced coffee kegs. And so as of today, if you go to the account Adafruit Kegbot on Twitter.
Or if you're here, over to the kegs.
Yeah, twitter.com/Adafruit Kegbot. You can see how much iced coffee we drink. Turns out we are drinking a lot. So
yeah, we got Stumptown cold brew.
Yeah, they
That's
sell
like
it in
the good
kegs.
stuff.
Yeah, we have the good stuff. And so we have a tutorial online for the Adafruit Keg-O-Matic. If you want to build one of these yourself, it uses a Raspberry Pi.
You know, we should be able to tell, because we have like data analysis for everything. Is the average order getting shipped in half the time now that people have free Stumptown coffee?
Everybody's pretty jacked up on coffee today.
Okay. Yeah, there was like the first day where they went crazy.
Yeah, we usually, you know, we ship the fastest as far as I can tell. But now we're just sending orders out before you even order them, and we're getting them right. So we're going into hyperspeed.
Yeah.
So that's the.
I don't drink coffee. I have the iced tea. I can't. If I drink coffee, I'll explode.
Yeah. So, anyways, check out the Adafruit Keg-O-Matic project if you want to build your own.
Okay.
Next up, some news in the world of open source hardware. So, this bit of news is pretty much just about you this week, Lady Ada.
Okay.
I put the show together, and I like to spotlight people that are doing amazing, cool things in open source hardware.
Yeah.
And you were in the news this week.
Okay.
And you do open source hardware. So you were named one of the top embedded innovators from embedded computing design. And
this is like the Vogue of embedded computing.
And not only that, a special shout out too, our friend and everyone's friend out there who watches the show, Amanda Wozniak, was also listed in there as well. So you have a big interview. You were named one of the most influential women in embedded design and embedded microcontrollers. Yeah. And you have a neat little interview there. And so this is kind of neat because this is, you know, when we started this kind of Adafruit adventure, these type of publications, they really weren't covering the hobbyist world and certainly not open source hardware. Mm-hmm. And now, like, this is embedded computing design. This is like where you go and you're like, oh, I need control systems for like my giant factory or like different car things or who knows. So
now hobbyists, now Arduino.
Well, it's neat, and you're bringing in a cool voice, I think, into that space. Speaking of cool voices, a couple other things this week. If
this photo is like really paid off.
This photo made the rounds this week. So if you want to read and also hear and see an interview with Lady Ada, Hackaday interviewed Lady Ada about the Hackaday Space Contest.
That's right.
So they sent over a bunch of questions over email, and you had the neat idea.
Like, where do you get your PCBs made?
Yeah, and you had a neat idea. Why don't we just do a video, because we're kind of really good at this, like video stuff. So you did a video interview, and the other thing is we have closed captions and we have a full transcript. So if folks out there that are deaf, if they need closed captioning, people can take the transcript and even translate it. So cool interview. Check it out on Hackaday or also on our YouTube channel.
It's like 18 minutes of me answering questions.
Yeah, we might. I'm using a service that takes the YouTube video and they have humans that transcribe it so it's perfect.
Yeah.
And then it's time coded. And
oh, so it like shows up right.
And it shows up perfectly on there. So you know, I'm trying some different things out with our videos. Next up, last week was Made with Code. Big launch.
That was on Friday or Thursday.
It was on Thursday of last week. Big effort from Google. They're spending $50 million on getting more young people, girls, into coding, and it was an amazing event. There was people from Pixar and from Google and from
Mindy Kaling was there.
Kaling was
MC.
there.
She was the entertainer MC.
Chelsea Clinton gave a talk.
Gave a talk.
And
Meryl from Illuminate was there.
And so the cool thing is we got to bring all of our Adafruit stuff there. So here's Lady Ada showing off some of the projects that we have. And they put all the projects in this great display. And then hundreds of girls, Girl Scouts, different computer clubs, all sorts of kids came by and they were able to try on all the stuff, ask Lady Ada questions about these things. And it's a really neat effort. And part of the effort was Google filmed 5 women who are doing things with code, and you're one of them.
Just the mentors.
Yeah, and here's a short video.
Okay. People are happiest when they're really creative, when they're making stuff with their hands, when they get to see what they make. When you're an engineer or a maker, everything around you is just materials. It's something that you can use as part of your art form. It's not fun to code just for coding's sake. There has to be something at the end that is so cool that the effort you put into it makes it worthwhile. So instead of just having a teddy bear, now you have a teddy bear that tweets when you squeeze it, or my shoes light up when I dance, or I have a jacket that will lead me home no matter where I am. What I see a lot is kids who will take a project like we did, a light up sparkle skirt, and they'll take that code and adapt it to their prom dress. So now they have a prom dress that reacts to the music that's playing, that matches like their hair, their earrings, that sparkles, that designs, and that's something that they've made. You can't buy that, you have to build it. The reward is when you've built something that nobody else has built before. And that's what making and engineering and coding is about. It is a little hard to get started, but it's hard to get started in anything, right? Any kind of thing you want. Like I really want to learn how to skateboard. It's really hard, you fall a couple times. And it's a little painful at first and it's frustrating. If it wasn't frustrating, then it wouldn't be so wonderful when it works out. That's what makes it worth it.
Yay! All right.
Yay, the video.
Okay.
That was taken many, many months ago, but
Yeah.
The event was last week, and that's when they released it, and it was epic. And I think it's a very interesting, and it's actually kind of what's interesting is like there's the decisions that they made when they did this are not obvious until you realize what they're actually trying to do. So like, for example, all the coding examples use Blockly, which is like a kind of a drag and drop system for like writing code. And a lot of the code actually, you don't type anything. I mean, you type a little bit, but mostly you like change variables by clicking, and you can use a slider and stuff. And so some people are like, well, why don't you just like have them like learn Python and something? And then I was like, well, wait a minute. Every kid has a phone and they have a tablet. Like they actually don't have keyboards. So if you're going to get people interested in coding and this is like their first opportunity, you have to make something that works on the phone so that they can play with it while on like the school bus or like at lunchtime or recess or whatever, or after school while waiting for someone. They can't just be like, okay, like install Linux, which, I know that people like learn how to code by installing Linux. But we want to get more people involved, and some of those people, they're not going to be comfortable with that, and they don't want to deal with that kind of complexity. So I think that it's interesting. It's going to be a couple of years long, like 3 years long. Yeah. And like, they're totally cool with me being like, hey, like I don't just write code. I actually do engineering, which is like, we do firmware, but it's soldering and assembly, and like, it's like using code to make things physical. In the real world, not just like, virtually on a screen, but, they had a mix of that, like Illuminate, which is the dance troupe, and it's all like RF-based timing and lighting and power management, and like, again, there's, they use an iPad, but it's just to control the light suits. And the cool Pixar woman was amazing too. She does lighting management at Pixar. Hopefully they'll have a video of the talks. Okay.
They do.
Go watch the video, especially the Pixar one.
YouTube.com/made with code, and you can see pretty much the entire event.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. Over 500 tutorials. The best place online to learn electronics and more. You can do this one, and I'll do...
Over 500 glorious tutorials. This is the latest. This is from Tony D. He wrote the monochrome OLED tutorial for Raspberry Pi and BeagleBone, and he wrote up all about it, and he's got like Python imaging library, and it's just awesome. Yeah, I mean, like if you want to use little displays, they're so small they take up almost no breadboard space, but they're really high contrast, very easy to read. Okay,
next up, this is a guide on how to place a purchase order if you're an institution that can place purchase orders.
Are you an educational institution?
Yeah.
You might want to use purchase orders. A lot of schools, universities have to place purchase orders, and we support that.
Yeah. So I can tell you something from running parts of Adafruit behind the scenes for many years now. Every single entity out there has a different way of doing purchase orders, so us as suppliers have to be able to adapt. We have a very easy, awesome system. We have great people. You could always place purchase orders with us. We make it super simple, easy, and fun. Last up for the tutorials, this is the one that's going to be for the video that's coming out tomorrow. This is 3D printed LED knuckle jewelry. This is using...
Bam.
Yeah.
I need to get one. I have to get one.
We're going to have them on the show next week. And check it out. Tomorrow is the video. I'm not going to spoil it, so check it out on Learning System and tomorrow on
3D printed, yeah, with the new alphanumeric, the alphanumeric quad backpacks. I mean, it's like you can actually draw it from a trinket, have it scroll a message, and you can do any kind of ASCII characters, and it's way more fun than a 7-segment.
Okay.
Twice as many segments.
Time Travel Tuesday, we always look back in like maker history. One of the things I thought that was neat this week was 1846, the saxophone is patented by Adolphe Sax in Paris. So that's where the name came from.
Wow.
Did you know where that's where it came from? Yeah.
Sax, okay.
Yeah, that's where the name came from.
That's why it's so saxy.
Yeah. So that's where the name came from.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Sax.
We all know something new. Wearables this week, couple cool things on the blog right now. 13 summer projects using Adafruit stuff. Check it out on the site. We have a ton of projects. If you started now, it would fill your summer. Solar projects, LED projects. Next up, everything. This is a new book coming out from Kate Hartman. It features Flora. So if you want an early access version, raw and unedited, O'Reilly has it, Maker Media has it. Just go to our site, or you can search on the Make site, or you can search on the O'Reilly site, and you can read what the book is. It should be out pretty soon. Yeah. And Kate's actually visiting, so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to do like a whole bunch of more Flora sensors. Yeah. Little module sensors. I'm gonna add probably like the UV sensor and also like a 9DOF sensor. So we'll have even more Flora fun. Okay. This is in our cosplay section this week. This is from StarCraft, and it's the adjuncts. And this is one of the coolest builds I've ever seen. And they go and they show all the details about making it. Jeez. Yeah. So much work. Incredible though. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Next up, 3D Thursday. We have a couple things. This is last week's video, the Iris 3D printed NeoPixel experience. Makes it slightly safer. Yeah, and here you go.
This summer you can light up the night sky and fly safe. In this project, we'll show you how you can upgrade the Iris quadcopter with LED NeoPixel rings and 3D printed prop guards. These parts provide extra protection to your propellers and they're extremely lightweight. The tall legs and propeller guards are printed in high impact strength PET material. The mounts easily clips to the propeller arms and they're secured together with machine screws. The LED NeoPixel rings are powered by a 1200 mAh LiPo battery with some help from the PowerBoost 500. Our tiny Trinket microcontroller can animate these lovely LEDs using our NeoPixel Arduino library. You can get the files and full tutorial for this project on the Adafruit Learning System. So if you're thinking about getting Iris or already a pilot, you can make this close encounter of the 3DR kind. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more 3D printed projects from Adafruit.
All right.
All right. That's a way to make your flying blender, quad blender, even slightly more safe and a little bit more glowy, so you can find it when it crashes.
Yeah. Noah and Pedro are in Florida, and they, I think there was like 15 UFO reports that night. When
No, it looks cool because it has got a little.
Okay. And then next up, we've been selling the TazBot, the open source printer.
Respect your freedom.
For a while now, and also the PrinterBot. And we asked the folks from Lulzbot, the Taz, to tell us a little bit about the printer. We're selling these. They're going at a good rate. I've asked people, if you want open source 3D printers, you have to show your support with buying them. Otherwise it's just an idea.
Yeah, and if you guys want open source 3D printers, you have to support open source 3D printers.
Yeah, and so we have so we have a video with the founder.
Hey Adafruit, my name is Harris Kenny, and I work for Aleph Objects. We're the makers of the Lulzbot 3D printers. Today, we're filming from our shipping department, where we send our printers out to our customers in 65 countries around the world. Our latest machine, the Taz 4, is available right now in the Adafruit online store. One of the most exciting things about the Taz is its large print volume. Here we've got a sample print that's about 12 inches by 11 inches by 10 inches. This means you can print single large items like this, or you can take advantage of the large print bed and print lots of small items in a single print run. Because this is an open source product, you're doing so much more than buying a 3D printer when you buy a Lulzbot. You're really investing in a global open source community that's coming up with great new ideas. Our modular toolhead design allows you to benefit from all the new materials that are coming out every day. Some examples of some new materials include NinjaFlex, Laywood, Laybrick, polycarbonate, and many more. TAS4 comes with a fully assembled electronics case. This means it's really maker and hacker friendly. It also comes equipped and ready for a dual extruder head. This means you will have the option to print with multiple colors or multiple materials at the same time. You can find the TAS4 in the Adafruit online store right now. If you want to learn more about this printer, visit us at lulzbot.com or find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn. Thanks for watching.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So that's the TASBot. A lot of people in the chat and other people who I've talked to, they said when you see this thing in person, it's an amazing machine.
It's a very beautiful machine with a huge build volume. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely like if you want to have an open source 3D printer or just want to hack on your 3D printer,
Yeah.
this has got like a little bit more stability than like a lot of DIY rep wrap builds with a lot of the hackability.
Yeah, and if you want to get 10% off, use a code, made with code,
Yep.
10% off. Next up, big announcement. So you know how everyone wants to like win the trivia prize?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know, the question comes up too fast. And
Yeah.
boy, or like
I want to win twice.
I want to win twice, or like I'm on the YouTube channel and I'm not on this one.
Okay. All right.
So we're giving away $314, a gift certificate to one person
One person.
for just taking a photo with a Raspberry Pi. That's all you got to do.
All I have to do is take a photo.
Introducing the Raspberry Pi Photography Awards. This is our contest, but don't worry, there's 14 $30
That's right.
winners. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is have a Pi, access to a Pi somewhere, and a camera.
You can use the
camera
Pi
Pi,
camera,
yeah.
or the
Web
Pi
camera.
Noir, or you can use a webcam. I don't
Yeah.
know what webcams work with the Raspberry Pi, but if you can
There's a
figure
lot.
it out,
Yeah.
but it has to be, the photo must be taken with a Raspberry Pi.
There's 3 million Pis out there. Lots of people have Pi cameras. We've sold tens of thousands of them, so we know that they're out there.
Yeah.
And a good example of a photo that you can take is of a cat. So this is Tony DeCola's cat Carmen and the clock kit from Evil Mad Scientist Laboratories. And the cool thing about this contest is all you have to do is take the photo with the Raspberry Pi. Don't take photos of a Raspberry Pi. We got plenty of those photos.
Yeah, we got plenty. We're good.
Take a photo of outside, interesting stuff, cat, dog, whatever. And all you have to do is post it to any of the social networking things and put #RPPA. You can also just email it to us. We have the email address. It's all on adafruit.com/RPPA. And we have a whole bunch of judges, and we have a special, I guess, Raspberry Pi celebrity judge.
Okay.
On the Adafruit team, we have Elisa, Mo, Angel, Stella, and Jessica. And all of these folks are responsible for very important things here at Adafruit with the Raspberry Pi. Jessica does Pi Day. Stella actually does the purchasing for Pi.
Angel ships all the Pi.
Elisa and Angel ship all the Pis. And Mo makes most of the Raspberry Pi packs here.
If you have a Raspberry Pi starter pack, they touched Mo's hands.
Yeah,
They're very clean, but they touched them.
Yeah, and so we have a whole bunch of people that basically spend their day doing things in and around Raspberry Pi.
And they all love art.
Yeah.
So
and so those are
eminently qualified.
Those are the Adafruit judges. And then for the outside celebrity judge, we have Liz.
Edmund, no.
No, we have Liz.
Edmund, you're looking great.
Yeah.
No, this is
we have
Liz.
And Liz runs all things that you probably see online with Raspberry Pi, raspberrypi.org, the foundation. One of the biggest forces of nature to get
She's a monster.
These Raspberry Pis in the hands of people.
Yeah.
So she's our guest judge. So altogether, fantastic group of people.
These are the people that you have to impress.
Yeah.
So take some good photos. Many of these people are going to, or have gone to art school, have art education, so they know what good photography looks like. So yeah. Also, they love cats. So I mean, like.
So all you have to do is post a photo. One person, $314 in the Adafruit store, and then 14 $30 winners in the Adafruit store.
And you can pick any prize you want.
Yep.
Then from like, you just buy whatever you want. So easy.
Yep.
And all you do is just tag it, RPPA.
All you gotta do.
So
Okay,
easy.
before you go on to new products,
You don't have to mail in a self-addressed stamped envelope.
made with code. Here's the fancy version of it. Look, made with code. That's the code for tonight, made with code.
Okay.
That gets you 10% off in the Adafruit store. Lady Ada, it's that time.
All right, let me turn on the light. Time for new products.
It's new product time. All right. Okay, first up, I'll do these. I'll start it off.
Yeah, why don't you start?
The
why don't you
first
start again?
thing up, this is Learning Python with Raspberry Pi. This is a book from Wiley. We think this is a good book. This is why we were stocking it. We don't stock every book, but this is
And
one.
Alex is part of like the Raspberry Pi team. Of course, I
Yeah.
forgot off the top of my head what he does, but he's been instrumental in doing stuff for the Raspberry Pi,
Yep.
and it's a good book.
Okay, next up, we got another book. This is Programming the BeagleBone Black with Simon Monk. Simon Monk, probably responsible for some of the best tutorials online for Arduino, Raspberry Pi, BeagleBone. He has a book. Check it out. We wouldn't
Yeah,
stock it unless
this
it
is
was...
like the Bone script, which a lot of people are interested in. It's like the JavaScript, like Web ID. So yeah, check that out. It's a it's a little book, but it covers a lot of stuff, and you can get going without even needing to SSH.
Okay,
SSHing,
next
but
up.
let's say you don't want to.
Now this is fun, and I'll have to
Okay.
explain what these are. So these are cover-up stickers with little eyeballs on them. So it's this vinyl sticker that easily comes on and off without leaving any residue, and it sticks to computers. Let me demonstrate. So if you're worried about people using your camera and looking through your computer, this is a little sticker that goes over it. And these are going to be in the store any second now. And they come in a sheet. And so for the advanced folks out there, you can always use a Band-Aid or a little piece of duct tape or gaffer's tape
And
or
you
whatever.
should.
And you should. This is more about a gift for a friend or for a loved one who maybe they won't do that. And this is a little pack of 10. And you just put it on your webcam, and then you can't see through it. And it doesn't leave any residue. It has a little eyeball with a little cross through it. And it's just webcam cover-ups because it looks like there's been so many instances of people's webcams being turned on and they don't know it, and they don't understand, like the computers are not really as secure as they could be. So this is a fun gift for friends, but also good to just have and put on your computer.
Extra dark.
Yeah. Next
We
up.
use gaff tape.
Yeah, or you can
Yeah.
use the F tape. Next up, the Uncen is out. This is our open source grid controller.
Yeah.
And we also have this cool little plate. And this
The
is
hacker plate.
This is the hacker plate. That's what it looks like when it's on, and this is what it looks like when you get it.
Yeah,
you have to peel the paper backing.
It's not made out of
but-
wood. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we put the paper backing on when we take the photo, so you can see it. But yeah, you can adapt it. And so this is the Uncen, and right now it's running a. It's connected through USB. It's a MIDI device, so it shows up as MIDI, and it's running the. Actually, I'll turn this off. So this is brighter. It's running the step sequencer that Colin wrote, and also I think it's in the GitHub repo. And he actually has a little demo that I'll do real fast. Let me just turn up the volume.
Okay.
So you can see it's stepping through, and there's 8. It's 8 beats by 8 different instruments. And so if I press,
Here, I'll let you.
so you can actually do like a. Turn it down a little bit. Super loud. So you can actually do like a step sequencer and select. It's using I think it's Ableton Live on here, and you can select like what instruments you want it to be because it's just MIDI. So you just send like note on, note off for like 1 out of 8 channels. And so if you're like into doing music and you want a controller that's like totally open source and totally hackable, this was like 100 lines of Arduino code, and we'll publish this, but it can also be modified and hacked to your desire. So this is a kit that's now in the Adafruit shop. We announced it a couple weeks ago, but it's finally available. And yeah, you put it together, it has a little bit of soldering, but it's a fun like 2 or 3 hour project, and you can hack it. I like the white LEDs, and it has the rubber elastomer, so you can press them and then the LEDs can light up based on what your program does.
Okay.
So check it out. We're sold out right now, but we'll have more in the next couple days. We're making more soon.
Okay, next up. This is everyone's new favorite wire.
Ooh, wire.
Yeah, so we have a few different colors of the wire. I'll go through these. We got red and black.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
White.
I personally just wanted this because like we do projects that need wire like this, and this is, we're gonna get thinner versions too, but this is 26 gauge, and yeah, maybe you can go to the overhead and I can
the overhead.
show this off.
Okay, whoa.
So, whoa,
Yeah.
totally overexposed.
Yeah.
Hold on. One moment, please.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I gotta turn this down.
Turn down maybe the contrast up. It was working before.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, well, it's okay. It like looks kind of like
does.
modern, like Instagram filter.
I'll work on this while you start to show it off.
Also try. It's a little too dark. Okay, so this is a silicone covered wire, so it's really flexible, more flexible than more flexible than normal PVC wire, and it's good for wearables because it's super soft and flexible. And you can also use it for high voltage and high temperature work. You can run this up to 600 volts or so, or 200 degrees C. But we actually are going to be carrying it for like wearables projects because sometimes if you have like a lot of neopixels or something and you need, you know, the conductive thread is not meant to carry like amps. This can carry like amps easily because it's just copper wire. But because it's soft and flexible, it's easier to stitch over to create power buses, and it moves with clothing a lot better than PVC, which is a little stiff, especially when you get to like 28 gauge or 26 gauge wire. So we have this in red and white, which it's hard to see, but white color, and then also black as well.
Yeah, I'll have to see what's
What
going on
happened
with
to
the
this?
camera. I don't know where.
Maybe it's dead.
Yeah.
So sad.
Next up, Lady Ada, we've got this
Solder.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this, a spool? Yeah, we have thin 6040 leaded solder. So we've had solder lead-free and leaded before, but it was 0.03 or 0.8 inches or 0.8 millimeter diameter. This is 0.5 millimeter or 0.02, which is what we use for surface mount soldering. The thick stuff's great for through-hole soldering, but if you want to use the fine Hakko tips and you want to solder fine pitch stuff, SOICs, T-SOPs, you want to get this thinner gauge stuff, which is, it's still rosin core, it's 6040, but it doesn't clump as much, especially when you're using, you only want a little bit, you want to be able to poke a small amount.
Okay. Next up. Look at this. We have a little animation, I think, too.
Yes.
Pink.
It means I don't have to do a demo to show it. It's a speaker that's embedded in a plastic casing, which makes it breadboard friendly. This is great if you're doing little audio projects, or you have like a little speech generator or something, or you're making sounds or tones, and you want to have a speaker that can have it has a wide range for the audio. It's like 50 to 10 kilohertz, I think. But it's breadboard friendly, so it's easy to solder into perforated or permaprotos or breadboards or whatever. It's like much easier to use. And it has a nice casing, a protective casing, so it looks a little bit better too. I thought that was a nice addition to the speaker collection.
All right, and then there's more. RoboBoard.
It's the version 2 of the Simon Monk Raspberry robot board,
Yeah,
and this is a fully
cool.
assembled board. This board can drive, I think, 2 DC motors or 1 stepper. It's got a nice stepper driver on it. It's got a buck converter as well on board. That's the big inductor and capacitor you see there in the corner. And that's what lets it, you can power it from like 12 volts or something. 'Cause a lot of like motors require like 12 volts or so, or 6 volts or 9 volts. But the Raspberry Pi like totally can't handle anything but exactly 5. Like it'll totally freak out if you power it in more than 5. So this allows you to run your Pi and your robot or your motors from like a AA battery source, like 6 AA's or 8 AA's or a lead acid battery, and it will also power the Pi at the same time. Also nice.
Okay. Next up, new windshield.
This is the new and improved windshield. We
Yeah.
have had the windshield for a very long time. It's been wonderful, but we were about to reorder some PCBs, and I'm like, this is a really good time for me to like finally upgrade the design to be R3 compatible and also stackable. The original design was not as stackable. You could, but it didn't stack the ICSP headers. A lot of our shields now have ICSP connectors on them, and a lot of the Arduino shields, like the Ethernet shield, require that header. And so this is now a fully stackable shield. It has pretty much the same amount of space, except for the ICSP portion. And also, instead of true ground pins, we have the SCL and SDA, the I2C data pins brought out. So now this is fully Leonardo and Mega and R3 and Yun compatible, so you can use it with all of these fine, popular Arduinos.
Okay. And the star of the show, besides you, is the new PowerBoost 500C. I've heard about this board for like 2 years. Every meal I think we've had up until now, you've talked about one day this is going to be released.
Yeah, I know. I had to change chips. The chip I finally picked is a lot better now.
It's now released. So why is this thing so special, Lady Ada? Why is this a big deal?
This is our all-in-one booster, uninterruptible power supply using a LiPo battery, and it basically allows you to charge the battery and get 5 volts out of the battery, so it kind of acts as like a 5-volt power bank. But unlike the power banks, and we have USB power banks in the store that are like all, they're meant for like charging iPhones and stuff. There's some trade-offs. Like for example, they can't be used as UPSs. They don't like, when you plug or unplug the charger, the power output actually can fluctuate. And they sometimes do this thing where the USB power gets shunted through, and so it's a little lower, and it's not as regulated. Also, some of them don't turn off automatically if they detect low current draw. This one is just like designed specifically for, you can plug in a battery, you can charge it over USB, and then you can disconnect or connect the charger as necessary, and it will always give you at least 500 milliamps of 5-volt output. And actually you can draw 1,000 milliamps, but that's only if you have like a battery that can handle that much current output. You need a pretty big battery to do that. You need like a 2,000 milliamp hour battery or larger. So 500 to 1,000 milliamps at 5 volts. It's great for powering any kind of Arduino project, any kind of Raspberry Pi or BeagleBone or other 5-volt powered projects. So many projects need them, NeoPixel projects, and it's all in one. It's very compact, and I even have a demo for it.
Okay. What type of demo do you want to do?
So
the only thing though is, I think it was because,
well,
I think it was because before there was a lot of light, so maybe you can turn on this light right here.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think the other one just blew out the cam.
All right, just like
Happens.
Super Instagrammy. So I've got my Raspberry Pi here, and I'm actually, we've got it in a nice case, and I am powering it from a PowerBoost, and this is to the Raspberry Pi, and then here's my little battery. Hey, little battery guy. And yeah, I can, I don't want to unplug the Pi, but I can unplug the charger, and the Pi still runs, and it's basically now running off of this battery, or I can plug the charger back in, and there's charging indicator LEDs up here. There's a little yellow LED you can kind of see that tells you it's charging. It turns green when the battery's full. And there's a blue LED that lets you know that the power output is good. And then there's also a red LED that turns on when the battery is close to being depleted. So it's like, warning, low battery. So this is, a lot of people were asking me like, hey, can any of your power banks be used as a Raspberry Pi UPS? And I'm like, no, but now we have something that can be. It can also, of course, be used for any kind of like, you want to make a project with a battery inside that you can plug in a micro USB jack to recharge it. We have a couple projects that we're doing with that. You want to make a project with 3D printed enclosure, and you want to be able to recharge the battery. And the battery charges at 500 milliamps, which is pretty standard battery charge rate, and it works really well. It's a really nice, clean output. We engineered the hell out of this to make it like a really clean, not jittery, but the output doesn't fluctuate, and it's pretty strong all the way up to 1,000 milliamps, and there's not that much switching noise either. I mean, there's always switching noise, but it's like under 100 milliamps, or 100 millivolts. Okay.
And that was the new products, Lady Ada. Good work. Good job. That was a lot of stuff. Okay. So let's quickly do a little, it's not out yet, don't ask.
Oh, and we have a tutorial for the PowerBoost 500C. So there's more details if you're interested in like, what is the inductor using? And it's just like, whatever. Right. Check it out.
Here, let's do a little, it's not out yet, don't ask. These are all top secret. Don't tell anybody, everybody. Oh, the secrets we have. Oh, don't forget, the code is also made with code. Gotta tell that one.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna go back to the overhead. Can you just pick that up and show this case?
Oh yeah, this is a future case.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet, but it's our kind of cool translucent injection molded Pi TFT case.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
It has little buttons. You can kind of see them here. There's little button tops, so you can press the buttons. And
that's enough.
Okay, fine.
It's not out yet. Don't
it's not out yet. Yeah, we're still wrapping up the injection mold.
We have an upcoming really cool project pack soon, and it's the Pirate Radio pack. This is the logo for it. And then this is just a photo of something we're working on. This is going to come out soon. We'll talk about it later. I don't know if anyone can guess what this is, but anyways, we got some cool stuff
coming. This is pretty intense.
Yeah.
You can guess what that is from like wet photo. Yeah. It's just like, wow, you know a lot about what's coming out.
So that was It's Not Out Yet, Don't. So we have a lot of cool stuff up ahead. You know what time it is? It is time for questions.
Ask your questions.
Type your questions in the chat. We're gonna
type them in.
We're gonna answer them the best we can. We have a bunch of questions lined up right now. Here we go, Lady Ada.
Okay, I'm gonna play some tunes.
You're gonna play tunes?
Yeah.
Okay. First up. All right. This is a question for the. It's really hard to.
Okay,
yeah, sorry. There's a lot of beeping.
No more beeping.
Yeah.
No beeping. What's up?
Does it auto shut off at low current? Can that be disabled? If so, that's for the.
No, it doesn't. It's always on, no matter how much current you're drawing. So it will not auto shut off like most power banks do. Okay.
You have a Debian kernel for the Pi TFT. I know you say you won't support ArchArm. However, I'm a Linux developer and I work with ArchArm devs. Would you be interested in an ArchArm kernel patch for the Pi TFT once we build it?
I will totally link to any GitHub repo or zip or whatever distribution you use. The kernel sources with our patches are up on GitHub. You can apply them and see if they work. I just don't run Arch and I don't know anything about it. So I don't support Arch. I mean, but if you want to patch it, that's totally cool, and I'll link to it.
All right.
I already have this many distributions.
Can we get a longer liquid depth sensor? I'd like to monitor a 5-gallon container and our water dispenser and our sump pump pit.
For the water, the Malone sensors, you can contact Malone. I think he has longer ones. They're just not very popular, so we don't stock anything with the most popular ones. I think he has one that go up to 2 feet or 18 inches.
Okay, and then I think this is the same person in different chats, but I'll try to combine these questions. How did you decide to start a company building these things and find the first people that would buy them? And then someone else asked, I think it's the same person, where did it go? How did you get started?
Okay, well, these are all stuff that I personally just think is cool and love to build. And, I was just blogging about them, and then people would contact me and say, I really want a Minty Boost kit. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, whatever. And then eventually like, well, no, I'll pay you money for it. I'm like, okay, well, I could use some money. That would be handy to pay rent. So I would sell kits out of my dorm room.
You weren't blogging. You were actually posting HTML pages on your site.
Yeah, I mean,
there was no blogging back then.
There was no, it got on Slashdot.
No, but I mean, you weren't using a blog publishing system. You were hard coding in a text file.
I should have just said I was editing HTML files, but that's not as cool.
All right. Could the PowerBoost 500 be used with tablets that require higher amperage?
You can. It can provide up to 1 amp, but the resistors on it are only set to, if you're using like Apple devices, it tells it to only draw 500 milliamps because you don't want to overdraw from a battery unless you're expecting it. So, it can charge, something like an iPad, but it takes a really long time.
Okay. Next up, this is from Pedro. I live in China and want to know what could be the average transportation cost of any of your products to China. Thank you very much. Well, the first thing is you should go to adafruit.com/distributors and check for someone who's closer. But besides that, you can just add the items to cart depending on the weight and the speed in which you want to get it. Click Estimate Shipping, and you will see the cost of shipping.
That's right. We have a cost estimator.
Yeah, and from what our research has shown, it looks like we have the lowest, best international rates compared to most other companies because our volume is so high for international UPS right now. So
Yep.
you will get a good deal.
Good deal.
All right.
Good deal.
Yeah. Next up. Oh, could you use the RGB NeoPixels with the Uncen MIDI controller?
That's a good question. We did not design this to use NeoPixels because instead we have one chip that does all the LED and button driving, and so to make it less expensive, we made it single color because a lot of people actually only really need single color. If the Uncen is popular, we may make a version that uses NeoPixels instead, but we're kind of waiting to see if, because it's kind of expensive to make molds for the buttons, and the buttons have to be remolded to account for the different size of the NeoPixel. So it's not like, oh, I'll just stick NeoPixels and it'll work. It won't. You actually have to do a little bit of redesign and remolding.
Okay, next up. This is from Joe. He and his partner are aspiring engineer entrepreneurs. They were just wondering, how did you guys initially cultivate your audience? When did you start out with the YouTube videos too? Well, the interesting thing, I think, is there's always been a huge number of people who make things.
Yeah.
And there's been places like, I had started Hackaday a long time ago, Make Magazine, I was there. All of the places started to give a home to these folks. Mm-hmm. So there's an audience out there that just doesn't even know about this maker world yet, but they make things every day. And I think that the trend over the last 10 years has been there's more demand than the supply that's possible. So we do 4 or 5 videos a week, and people want more. Mm-hmm. We have 500 tutorials, and people want more. And there's lots of companies that do videos and tutorials, and people want more. And so
more.
So it's not like this audience was developed. Like we made stuff, and we all got together and said, let's do a maker movement, and like let's turn people into this. It's actually a little different. Everyone's making something. It's how humans got here. We use technology. We come up with stuff.
This is intense.
Yeah, but the thing is, what you can do is build a great place for people. And that's where I think you did a great job. And Adafruit does, I think, one of the best jobs. It is a fun, safe place for anyone to show and share their projects, to show and tell, ask an engineer, the guests, the blog posts that we have. It's very inclusive. And so I would say for anyone out there who's thinking about making videos and tutorials in this online community, and it sounds like you want a business that has a big audience, focus on your community. Community one day turns into audience, but whatever your DNA is from the start and how you treat people, and if you're excellent to each other, and to be straight up, don't tolerate jerks in online communities. You know, everyone's spending a lot of money and time trying to get people into this tech world. Mm-hmm. Well, we also have to have the tough conversation is some folks should probably go, because if they're not going to help each other and they're going to just be mean, there were some online communities that were not very fun for people for electronics, and they're not really around anymore. And it's because there's this other way to do it. There's this great inclusive way.
Fun way.
There's hacker spaces now that are fun to go to. So whatever you put into this community thing that you're working on is where you're going to get back. You can't just say, well, here's a community, like, good luck, guys, you know, buy my products later. You actually have to spend a lot of time. We spend, I'd say, hundreds of hours a week on helping everyone in the community, and from the forums to Twitter to Facebook to YouTube to Google+, all those things. So that is what I would say. Next up. Phone is probably coming out next week.
Next week, hopefully. Tester's done.
Yeah.
Parts came in, but we have to reorganize the pick and place today.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we have some major stuff going on Fab. And it's now, I think I got to the last one. Yes, let's go to the trivia question time. Okay. All right. It's trivia. Okay, lady, what are the rules?
Rules are, if you've won something on this trivia question already, you can't enter again, only one winner per lifetime. The prize today is a Power Boost 500C. Ooh, how nice. So if you have a LiPo battery sticking around, plug it in, and you're rocking. Yeah. So it was someone's birthday this week, someone very well known in the world of computer science. Type his name in the chat, and you win it, whoever gets to it first. Who is this person? This guy?
It was his birthday this week.
It's not David Byrne. I know you're about to type that in, but that's not him.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give anybody any clues, but we'll see who comes up with it first in the chat. This is covered on our blog. Oh, James Freeman, Alan Turing, congratulations. British mathematician, logician, cryptoanalyst, philosopher, computer scientist, mathematical biologist, and marathon and ultra-distance runner. He was highly influential in the development of computer science, providing a formalization concept of algorithm and computation. With the Turing machine, which can be considered a model of general-purpose computer, Turing is widely considered the father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence. You told me something interesting. This was a long time ago. So there was someone arguing about like there's never going to be anything open source hardware because the Arduino doesn't have an open source chip and this doesn't have an open source chip, and so there's no such thing as actual open source hardware. And you said something interesting about the chip itself. You said all it has to be is
Turing complete.
And what does that mean? Turing complete.
Turing completeness is it's named after Turing, so that's one hint. It's a kind of like ultra machine. It's like the basic computational machine that can make decisions and compute and has memory. And so it's kind of like the most basic version of a machine that you can make. And every microcontroller and every computer and now like even like many phones and toasters and refrigerators are Turing complete, which means that they can run any program in existence. Like you know your TI-85 or 83 calculator is Turing complete. That means that in theory, it can run something as complicated as Photoshop. Now, you'd have to have a lot of memory to do that, and it would be really slow, but it could do it. Like it has the ability to run almost any program. Just you need peripherals and such, like a mouse and a keyboard and a display and such. But the computation, there's nothing that a computer that's on your desktop can calculate that you can't calculate on like a calculator watch.
It just takes longer.
It just takes a really long time. You need a lot of memory.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting concept, right? Because like some people would say like, oh, well, there's something that a desktop computer can do that your Nintendo DS can't do, but that's actually not true. Technically, there's actually they can always compute the same things. You could mine bitcoins on your Game Boy. It's possible.
Yeah.
It will just take a really long time.
It'll take 4 billion years.
Take a really long time. You need a very large amount of memory to do a lot of these things, but the conceptually what it can compute is the same. Very interesting concept. If you do drugs, it'll blow your mind. If you think about it.
Okay.
Look in the mirror and say things are Turing complete. It'll just be like, wow.
All right. Well, with that's the show, Lady.
Okay.
Good work. Excellent show. Amazing show and tell.
Bleep,
want to
bleep.
say thank you to everyone at Adafruit
Yep.
who helps run Adafruit, all the staff here.
Thanks to Colin for this awesome
working.
demo.
All the folks in the chat who work with Adafruit, all the folks who are in the audience and community, all the folks that were on the show and tell.
Everybody at Made with Code.
Everyone with Made with Code was a fantastic event. Thank you.
That was great.
If there's anyone in your life who you think should get interested in coding, show them these videos. There's a lot of opportunity to get a lot more great people in. And don't forget the code up until 11:59 p.m. tonight is Made with Code. That'll be active for just another couple hours. So
All right,
check it out.
go
We'll be
buy
here
some stuff.
next week. Thank you, everyone. And
Hopefully next week I'll be able to show off the phone up. I'm going to finish this thing.
next week we probably will.
I finish it.
All right.
I'll make a phone call with it. Beep, beep.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Here's a picture of MOSFET. And here is your moment of Zener.